Okay. So what do you got? You were watching Stephen Colbert.
Yeah. So he had a linguistics professor on. He was saying that we tend to stay in this idea of like, this is what language is. And it isn't. It's a pretty basic concept of like, language is evolving. Just like
ever evolving.
It's ever evolving. Yeah. It's never done. Just like societies are always evolving, fashion is always evolving, and language. We tend to not think of language as evolving. And one instance he said was woke, like was a really cool term, and it meant something a year ago, or essentially around when Obama became president. So 2008?
Well, I'm not going to say people weren't using that then.
Yeah, but it became popular. Like, we're woke. America's woke.
I would say it became more popular in like the last like
But it became more popular,
years.
In the last...
in my experience.
In the last, 2 years, it became more popular.
Stay woke!
And now it's become a term of like, it's joking. And he's like, this woke isn't going to be used anymore in like 5 years.
In 5 years, you think it'll fade? What are some other...
Because how many times
What are some other things that have faded?
Huh?
What are some other phrases that have faded? That used to be cool.
He didn't... No, that was the only one that he made a reference. Off the top of your head?
Yeah. Like, what are some things that like we used to say like back in the day that we thought were cool? I'm going to type in 2000 slang.
Yeah.
Well, if I type in 2000 slang words, it's going to give me 2000 slang.
Yeah.
Slang words in the 2000s. Here we go.
But yeah, he's like, woke. Like, how many times here in the office do you and I make fun of the word woke? Like, oh, he's woke. Now it's not even like a term of like actually being woke. It's just like a mocking term.
I mean, it definitely is used in a mocking way now, but I feel like I will use it in a serious way.
But you used it less than you did 6 months ago. We all did.
Right. Like, I would say Miguel. Like, I would say Miguel's woke. In like a serious way.
Yeah.
But would I say
But that's because you're thinking of it right now.
Right. Oh, here we go. All right. So I pulled up 10 short-lived slang terms from the 2000s. This is great. Number 1, fashizzle. That was a thing.
That was a thing.
Fashizzle. Fosheezy is number 2. Fasheezy, my kneesy pimpin' ain't easy. Crunk. Everybody was saying crunk.
Yeah.
Like, we're about to get crunk. That was a big one.
That was a
big thing.
But nobody uses it anymore.
Cray cray. I feel like that was more of like a female thing.
Maybe.
I don't know if I can even say that.
Yeah.
Forget it. Number 5, pimp juice. I feel like they're just taking titles of songs. Because they got a Nelly gif on here. It says, "She with my pimp juice." But no, pimp juice was a thing. Pimpin' was a thing, but now you can't really say pimpin' because okay, we'll go there. So I said sometime last year with one of the roommates I lived with, I said, oh, dope, that's pimpin'. Like I was like, oh, pimpin', that still sounds cool, you know? And she's like, you shouldn't say that. And I was like, why? And she was like, do you realize that pimps and like you're like, by saying that you're contributing to sex trafficking and stuff like that. And I was just like, okay.
You took it too far.
Going a little too far. Yeah. So I don't know. If you think you can't say pimpin', whatever. I mean, I guess I get where you're going with that, but whatever. Number 6, skrill or skrilla, referring to money.
No.
I used to say skrilla.
I never said it, but I heard it.
I was like,
but now it's like coin and racks.
Racks. Racks.
Or paper.
Number 7. Peeps, chilling with my peeps. Like
nobody says that anymore.
My peeps, those are my people. Number 8, head bussa.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Head bussa is a guy who gets scrappy, or as 2005 Urban Dictionary definition says, okay, head bussa is someone who can fight real good. Oh, okay. So I'm a head bussa. I'm a head bust your ass, son. Number 9, flossy.
Nobody says that anymore.
But that was a thing?
Another thing.
I never heard people say flossy.
Yeah.
Number 10, Drop it like it's hot.
Nobody ever said that.
Dude, they are just using songs.
Yeah.
But whatever. Those are
But
funny.
yeah, and it goes to this, I guess, when I think of like people say proper English, and it's like, well, do people write that way anymore? Well,
you think about like Shakespeare, for example, like how that whole thing was written. That thing's fucking...
Who created like 5,000 words or something like that?
Or even think about, have you ever like tried to read the Bible? That shit's hard to understand, dude.
Yeah.
It's like thou, like they say thou instead of they, right?
Yeah.
That's an evolved,
and so
or an evolution of a word right there.
Yeah. And
thou.
and so it was just interesting because I've had conversations where they're like, why are you saying it like that? Or why do you speak real English? It's like, well,
can you think of like an example of like where you've like someone's like tried to correct you, have been like, why are you saying that?
At one point, like, I wasn't using any periods when texting. They're like, I don't know what you mean because it's one run-on sentence. But
here's the
but
thing.
you know, if it like, it's one of those things. If you're, I guess, plugged in, you would get it. You're like, oh, I understand this. You know what I mean? Or not capitalizing your eyes. People are like, that's not real English. Like, just capitalize your eye. I'm like,
right? No,
takes an extra second to hit the shift key.
I know what you're saying. So if you're talking about text messaging, let's not forget SMS service. It's the short message service. I can't even say it. Short message service. It's a short message service.
Yeah.
I really can't say that. Short message service. It's the two S's at the end of message that are throwing me off. Short message
service.
Short message service. Whatever. If you're just sending a short text like, K, meet you there, just use K, meet you there, whatever. But here's where I'll say that you do need like proper grammar in a text. If you're sending like a really long text with like a lot of information, commas and periods
obviously.
and stuff, but text message, like, you don't need a period. You don't need to say okay, comma, thanks, period.
Yeah.
You don't need to do that. Just say K, THX.
No, I never do THX.
Our boss does that.
I know.
In emails.
Yeah.
I think that's so funny. And he'll say, instead of please, he'll do PLZ.
Yeah. He does.
I love that. Oh, man.
It was just an interesting topic. I don't know. Going back to the
what were they
brain,
saying?
like,
What were they saying about it? You said on Jimmy Fallon, or not Jimmy Fallon.
Stephen Colbert.
What were their like original thoughts on it?
Well, because Stephen Colbert like went to like Harvard or something like that, Yale, and like he's just a traditional student, and this guy is a teacher of linguistics, but he's like, it's interesting how we just get caught up in language and say this is the box that language lives in, but it's not. Like, even
I'm trying to like understand fully, like,
I have to rewatch it again, but
no, it's okay.
But like, it's just interesting how the brains could like to certain groups of people or certain regions, like something we would say in California wouldn't necessarily make sense in Atlanta, or something that you say in Atlanta wouldn't necessarily make sense in New England.
Oh, right.
And so it's interesting how like you live in this region and you're expected to like just only speak the American like proper English, but it's regional, and like languages are evolving continuously in these regions, and we're in a country of like people move and immigrants come, and
like even so a really popular one from me being from like the Midwest is y'all.
Yeah.
You all. And like that, you don't hear that anywhere other than like Texas, Oklahoma, like,